Hi, it's Carla. I am on a mission to let everybody know what my brother did for me. He gave me a piece of him. He gave me a kidney and changed my life completely. In the last video, I was sharing how difficult it was for me to live with the idea that I wasn't going to be able to carry a child. And not being able to become a mom. I knew that there was a plan. I knew that something was going to come up. I knew because I always know that God has my back. I am not alone. I have faith that always something is going to turn out in a different way, but at the end, everything is going to be okay. And that's what I always tell myself. All shall be well. A very special person at the school that I worked at always said this phrase to me: all shall be well, all shall be well. And it has been my mantra. And I do it every time I'm afraid. I say this every time I'm afraid, every time I'm in pain. I have very thin veins, and it's very difficult for the nurses to find my veins. And sometimes it's been 7 times just trying for a blood draw. And I just close my eyes and I say everything, all shall be well, all shall be well, everything's going to be okay. It'll pass. And it does. It just gives me strength and faith. Anyway, this is how my journey becoming into a mom started. I received a call from my mom, really excited because she had seen on the news that a grandmother was expecting her granddaughter. And she was so excited because in her head, she was able to do this for me too. She was sharing this story with me, and I was like, whoa, Mom, that's amazing. What a beautiful story. And she said, yeah, it's beautiful. So we can do this. I can do this for you. She was convinced since day one that she was going to do this for me. And I was like on the phone, didn't know how to tell her that this was pretty much only in her head, that it was not going to be able to happen because we were living in Peru. This was in the UK. She's always had the craziest ideas. But this was the craziest. Thank God she had this crazy idea. She said, start looking, because maybe there's a place here and we can do this. And you can be a mom. I can carry your baby. I started looking. And I found a place that accepted the case. They said, of course, we can do this. I was telling them about my mom. She doesn't have her period anymore. She's 53 years old. That's fine. There's no problem. We can figure everything out, give her hormones, period will come back, and we'll prepare your mother's womb for your daughter, and we'll do some checkups, see if she's okay, and if everything is okay, then we can do this. Oh my God, I was like, I called her back and I said, Ma, I found a place. And she was the most excited of all, I think. I was kind of scared that something would happen to her. I asked the doctors, and they said that the baby would come out around 7 months and a half to take care of my mother. I said, okay. And we started on this journey. We went to the tests. They prepared her womb for around 3 months, gave her hormones, and my mom was ready. And the day my mom was ready, we went to the hospital. They implanted embryos, and when we were leaving, she had a strange look on her face, kind of sad. And I asked if everything was okay. She was feeling fine. And she said, yes, I'm feeling fine. I'm just afraid that this won't work. And I said, you just doing this, it already means the world to me. For me, it already worked. You're just proving, she didn't have anything to prove. She was just showing me so much love, so much selflessness, generosity. And we just said, let's hope for the best, and if not, find another way. But thank you for doing this. So we hugged and we went home. I stayed with her. And then we had to wait like a week or a week and a half to find out if my mother was pregnant with my daughter. Just saying it out loud, it sounds crazy. But it was real. This was a real story. So the longest week and a half went by. We went to the lab. The longest 2 hours went by. Results came back. My mom was pregnant with my daughter. We jumped. We celebrated. We couldn't believe it. She needed some shots for the first 3 months because her body didn't have a certain hormone anymore. And it was a daily shot every single day. She never complained. She never said anything. Till one day, she was changing and I saw these bruises. I said, Mom. And she said, no, everything's fine. Everything's fine. Don't worry about anything. So special. And she would tell me that when she was taking a shower, she would rub her stomach and she'd say to the baby, don't move because I'm going to wash your hair. So please be careful. She's always been very playful. I remember that since I was a kid. Very playful, fun. And 7.5 months went by. And it was the day that we needed to go for vitals and just to check on the sonograms. But my mom wasn't feeling that great. She felt like she had to sleep sitting down. She didn't feel right. And when we went to the doctor, they took all the vitals and the sonogram. They said, this is an emergency. She needs to be born tomorrow. We're like, what? We still have a month? You said it was for a month that she was going to be. You said that it was going to still be a month for her to be born, and now it's tomorrow. So we went home, got everything ready. The next day we were at the hospital 7 a.m. And out came my daughter. I was in the operating room, and out came my daughter. She was the most beautiful thing. I know every mom says it's her daughter or her son is the most beautiful thing. I just couldn't believe my eyes. The doctor gave her to my mom, showed her to my mom. My mom gave her a kiss, and then they gave him. I received Danny, picked her up, hugged her. I couldn't believe I was a mom. I was carrying my daughter, and it was a Friday. It was in May, and the next couple of days, and Sunday it was Mother's Day. So I woke up, my mom was holding Danny, and I approached her, gave her a hug, said, "Happy Mother's Day, Mom. I love you so much. You're like the best. Thank you so much for everything that you've done for me." And she reached out with my gift, which was my daughter. And she said, "Happy Mother's Day to you." And that was the best Mother's Day I can remember. I received my daughter as a gift. Wow. What a present. Another miracle in my life. And that is how I became a mom. Thanks to my mom. Thanks to this special person she is. And I'm very thankful. My daughter is now 19 years old. Daniela. We call her Danny. And yeah, that's our story of how I became a mom, thanks to my mom. So thanks for watching, and I'll tell you a little bit more of my transplant that came up a couple of years after my daughter was born.